So I had to really sort of quickly cover this. So this will be a relatively quick one, but to be honest, I think it will be a relatively fun one as well. So we have talked about the fact that Rishi Sunak's entire premiership so far has been pretty much defined by rebellions. And bear in mind, this does not go away. There's a lot of people in the Conservative Party saying, oh, this deal actually makes Rishi look really strong. It puts him in a good position. But in reality, I do not think it really reflects the reality of what's been going on in the Conservative Party over Brexit. Because the ERG, once this massive monolith has split over this very deal that Sunak has put forward, you've now only got the real hardliners. Not only that, but you have people in the party who are pro-Brexit, but they're not hard Brexiteers. They're more the soft Brexiteers. So they were always like, well, we want to do Brexit, but we're very, in a very, softly way about it. We're all right doing deals with the EU. Maybe the single market, the customs union in the union for all the UK might be a good idea. As we've expressed very, very recently, there might be very, very good, as we saw with Angela Leveson, extolling the virtues of the single market. When you can go back just a couple of years and you can find full speeches of her going, the single market is absolutely terrible. It's this absolutely awful protectionist racket. Yet she came out a couple of days ago, just as bizarrely, a couple of other Brexiteers have come out and said, oh my God, Northern Ireland being in the single market, amazing. Yet, for the past couple of years, since Johnson's deal, they have done everything they possibly can to pull Northern Ireland out of the single market. And a lot of people, particularly on my side, have to wonder two things. A, is this a colossal mistake on them? Is this a massive miscalculation? And B, are they just fed up? Is this Brexit faction, this eternal rebellion, as very often some of the Brexiteers described it as, they've got to keep up this momentum, this rebellion. Even Dominic Cummings wrote, I think it was last year, that the Brexit rebellion must keep going. It must keep forever churning onwards. They must keep rolling onwards if they are ever really to achieve their true objectives. Well, it seems that they've they've rolled their last roll. Their roly-poly down this steep hill of Brexit has now come to an end. And they've got no more steam left in the tank to be able to put up serious rebellions, because Brexit has split the Tory party massively. The the Liz Truss debacle, I think, had a lot of reasons behind that. I think a lot of people, particularly Brexiteers, both soft and hard, backed Liz Truss, calling for her to be prime minister in the first part, and then the absolute disaster that led to. Now, there's many people going, oh no, I backed Liz Truss. In any future election or anything like that, I might have to answer, why did I back Liz Truss after her absolute disaster of a performance? So make no mistake, the rebellions that we have seen so far that Sunak has had to deal with have had nothing to do with Brexit. It's been about really the NIMBYism versus the YIMBYism. We saw the whole deal about sort of net zero getting done on the proviso that, the Cumbrian coal mine gets approved. We've seen this happen again. So Sunak has not quashed all these rebellions that are constantly fermenting in his party. The fractured Conservative Party is still incredibly fractured. But Rishi Sunak's allies have announced that they are incredibly confident they have quashed any rebellion over this new Windsor framework. In fact, this weekend, Rishi Sunak is taking out all the Conservative MPs on an away day to Windsor, with, shall we say, maybe a couple of notable exceptions for those people who decided not to go on this weekend. I suppose we'll find out who was not invited and who was uninvited later on. But they are incredibly confident because there is one senior Conservative came out and said, if the only rebels are Johnson and Mark Francois, that would be fantastic. And bear in mind, that is what they are hoping for, that there will be this token rebellion from Boris Johnson and maybe Mark Francois, and it will make them look like absolute lunatics. And it gets even better because the source went on to say that what these hardliners are looking like is that they are looking like the Japanese soldiers who were left in the jungle after World War II. The war is over, but for some reason, they are still fighting it. The party knows it has to move on to new things. There are all these challenges that Rishi Sunak still has to face, which he's going to have to face rebellions over. Those rebellions are not over by a long shot. That the idea that he's brought together the party is completely false. They are still massively split along huge ideological lines among many things. But the fact that they are being described now as Japanese soldiers who were left in the jungle after World War II says a lot about not only how once the mighty ERG has now fallen, partly because of course, of Liz Truss and her disastrous premiership, and the ideas that they were pushing were the exact same ones that Liz Truss tried to do. Their entire Brexit idea and agenda they have seen in the polls. It is not going well. You had the recent Boris Johnson London conference example where he asked, is Brexit going well? And only one person raised their hand, to which he even tried to realize how embarrassing that was. So he desperately tried to move on. And that is what I think they are going to desperately try and do. They know how much Brexit is being seen as a disaster by the public, how it is hurting the economy, how it is not delivering on the promises that the Brexiteers promised. And that is why we have seen Brexiteers accept this deal, because it looks embarrassing if they don't. You've seen Brexiteers from Nigel Farage to Sarah Vine saying that, well, trying to change Brexit history and trying to expunge any of the Brexiteers from, their involvement in the entire Brexit saga. We've seen Rishi Sunak and Angela Leadsom, committed Brexiteers, praising the single market. It's bizarre times indeed in the Tory party, but it does look like that Rishi Sunak's allies are right, that they have, by all looks of it, and certainly by all accounts at the moment, like I say, we'll see next week when this deal is sort of, put to Parliament, who rebels and sort of who doesn't, that it does look like they've at least firmly managed to at least quash this rebellion this time. But later down the road, I don't think Sunak is going to have just as much as success in potentially quashing those other deals, because his party is split massively. So trust me, expect future rebellions. The budget is one. The reaction to the May local elections will be another. Who knows what else we've got coming down the pipeline, but it will be, as a lot of people have suspected, that it will be a rebellion, or maybe it will be one rebellion too many that eventually takes down Rishi Sunak and could very well propel us into a snap general election. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button on your way out. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.